Good morning. This is Debbie with the Food Prepping channel, and today I'm going to fix a beef recipe. It's Sunday. I love to cook on Sundays. Have something here in case any of the kids come by or anybody comes by. And what I'm fixing today is an Italian country beef. And what I've got in this bowl, I'm just doing this, trying to get everything done beforehand so it doesn't take so long to show y'all. And what I've got is probably about 5 pounds of potatoes cut up into, diced into, they're pretty big pieces. And then I've got about a 1.5 pounds of carrots, and they're cut into pieces about that size. And then I have 1 medium onion just cut up, and they're gonna fall apart, but they're just diced up like that. And I don't know why it only called excuse me, I don't know why it only called for 1 medium onion, but that's what I'm gonna put in here. And so this is all going into the crock pot. This is a crock pot meal, so, and I love crock pot. So I've got all those potatoes and carrots and onions in here. And now I've got to go get the meat and cut it up, and I'll bring you right back. Okay, I'm back. Alright, now this is a chuck roast, and I think it's like a 3 pound, and I've cut it up into pieces, and I'm gonna just put this on top of the potatoes. From what I've always been told, and I know I've told y'all this over and over again, but in the crock pot, whenever you cook something, you always put the vegetables in the bottom and the meat on the top. And from what I've read, the reason for this is it takes longer for the meat to cook than it does the vegetables. And there is no heat on the bottom of the crock pot. It's all on the sides. So you put your meat on the top so it will cook faster, and it just kind of evens out or whatever. So you put your meat on the top and your vegetables on the bottom. And this is what I've always heard, so I'm really not sure. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some salt. I have no salt in here whatsoever. So I'm going to put, I've read that you use a teaspoon for each pound of meat. And with the potatoes and the carrots and everything in here, you know, I really need some salt. So I'm going to put in 3 teaspoons of salt on this meat. And this is kosher salt. Alright, here's the second one. And here's the third one. Alright. Now, I've got some other stuff. It's calling for garlic, and I don't have any garlic, so I'm using granulated garlic. But it calls for 2 cans of beef broth, and I have that. I'm putting them in this bowl right here. Let me make sure that you can see this. Alright, the 2 cans of beef broth are going in here. It also calls for fennel, and I don't like fennel because I don't like licorice. So and from what I can understand, fennel tastes like licorice, so I've never even bought any. I wouldn't know how to cook with it if it was right here in front of me. Alright, so I've got the 2 cans of beef broth, and then it calls for a cup of a red wine, and I've just got this little bottle here of Cabernet Sauvignon, whatever how you pronounce it, and I'm putting that in here with the beef broth. Alright, and then it calls for 1 teaspoon of dried rosemary, and I don't have any, just all I've got is just the rosemary leaves. So what I'm going to do is put them in my hands and like crush them and try to get them in here. Okay, can smell that. I love rosemary. Ugh. Mine died while I was at the beach, so I didn't get any to save any of mine. Alright. Now the next thing, I'm going to put in a tablespoon of this granulated garlic. And that's going in here in the bowl. And then I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of coarse ground black pepper. Alright. And I've got this set for 8 hours on high. I'm going to cut it down to about 6 after it cooks. I'm going to cut it, well, I'll cut it down to 6. No, cut it down to 4 after it goes to 2 hours. So that makes it 6 hours on high. I don't know why I didn't just sit it for 6 hours. Alright, so I'm going to pour this all over the meat and the potatoes and the carrots and the onions. And I got to get out of this. Alright, now I'm going to get this at the end of 5 hours. I'll bring you back, and we've got something else we've got to put in here. So I'll bring you back. Okay, I'm back. Somehow, I don't know how I forgot this, but I'm supposed to put a can of tomato paste in here, and I'm also going to add, since this is Italian beef, I'm going to add some Italian seasoning. I'm going to put half a tablespoon of Italian seasoning in here. Alright, and with the tomato paste. And also, the recipe calls for tapioca flour starch. So I'm going to put in 3 tablespoons of that in this in the tomato paste. Alright. And I'm going to stir this up. I'm going to get this all stirred up into the tomato paste. And then I'm going to put it in with the beef and the potatoes and the carrots. And I'm just going to keep on letting it cook because it's still not done. It's been about 3 hours. I don't know what made me look at the recipe, but I looked at the recipe and saw that I hadn't put this in there. So I had to go on and add it. Alright, so here's the tomato paste. This is going to be, I wish you could see this. It's going to be so good. I've still got like 3 more hours on it. Oh. Alright, so there's one more thing that I have to add, and that's at the very end when it's done, and I'll bring you back and show you that when it gets done. Okay, I'm back. Here's my finished dish. I'm getting ready to try it and see. It has smelled up my house all day. I want to see if it tastes good because it sure smells good. And the sauce is that tapioca flour has made it like a little sauce in here. So let me taste this and see what it tastes like. That is really, that's really good. Let me taste this meat and see what it tastes like. Perfectly juicy. It has an amazing taste to it. This is really good. This is way beyond just a pot roast or meat and potatoes. Way beyond that. The seasonings, the rosemary. This is really good. If you like this recipe, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to be a part of my Facebook group, that will be below. My Twitter account, that will be below. And I hope you have a good night. I'll talk to you later. Bye.